Hello, my friends. I'm Dr. Linda Parker, Senior Health and Longevity Specialist, and today I want to talk to you about a quiet danger hiding in many kitchen cabinets. It isn't a prescription drug, it isn't alcohol, and it isn't a fast food meal. It's something that wears a natural label, is sold as a detox or slimming miracle, and is often recommended in good faith by friends or on social media. I'm talking about a popular type of herbal detox tea that can silently damage your liver after the age of 60. If you're over 60 and you've ever thought, if it's natural and it's tea, it must be safe, this conversation is especially for you. My goal is not to scare you away from every cup of herbal tea. My goal is to help you understand how a very specific kind of concentrated natural tea can overwhelm an aging liver, how to recognize the warning signs, and how to choose habits that truly protect your health and longevity instead of putting them at risk. To understand why this matters so much after 60, we need to talk about your liver in simple, practical terms. Your liver is your body's master filter and chemical factory. Every day it helps process medications, neutralize toxins, regulate cholesterol, balance hormones, and manage blood sugar. It transforms what you eat and drink into usable energy and safe waste products. When you're younger, your liver has a large reserve of extra capacity. It can tolerate some overload, some poor choices, and even some abuse. But as we move into our 60s and beyond, blood flow to the liver tends to decline. Liver cells regenerate more slowly, and many people begin taking multiple medications. That means the margin for error becomes smaller. What your liver could easily handle at 35 might be a serious burden at 70, especially when we add detox products that are far more concentrated than they appear. Now, let's talk about the specific natural tea I want you to be aware of. I'm not talking about a gentle cup of chamomile before bed or a simple mint infusion after a meal. I'm talking about highly concentrated detox or slimming teas that are marketed for rapid weight loss, cleansing, or melting fat. These products often contain strong doses of green tea extract and other herbal extracts packed into a single tea bag or powder. On the package, you'll see words like detox, fat burner, extreme cleanse, or metabolism booster. They might promise a flat belly in 7 days or a total body reset without changing your diet. The label looks harmless. You see pictures of leaves, flowers, and a peaceful cup of tea. But inside that bag, you may have an amount of certain plant compounds that is much higher than what you'd ever get from drinking ordinary tea. For an older liver already busy processing blood pressure pills, cholesterol medications, pain relievers, and maybe a glass of wine here and there, that concentrated herbal cocktail can become a serious challenge. One of the main ingredients in many of these detox teas is concentrated green tea extract, rich in compounds called catechins. In small amounts, such as a few cups of brewed green tea per day, these compounds can be beneficial. They have antioxidant properties and may support cardiovascular health when used reasonably. But at very high doses, especially when taken on an empty stomach, these same compounds can flip from helpful to harmful. Instead of simply acting as antioxidants, they can create oxidative stress inside liver cells, disrupt mitochondrial function, the tiny power plants inside your cells, and trigger inflammation. Over time, in sensitive individuals, that can progress to liver injury. The risk goes up when you combine high doses of green tea extract with other stimulating or laxative herbs in the same tea. The liver is forced to process a large load of active substances at once, and in a body over 60, that may be enough to tip the balance from adaptation to damage. Why does age matter so much here? After 60, many people experience a gradual reduction in liver blood flow, which means fewer nutrients and less oxygen reaching liver cells. The ability of those cells to repair themselves is also slower. On top of that, it's common to take multiple medications, perhaps a statin for cholesterol, a drug for blood pressure, something for diabetes, a daily pain reliever for arthritis, maybe a sleep aid, and sometimes an over-the-counter supplement or two. Each of these passes through the liver. When you add a highly concentrated detox tea, you're essentially loading more work onto an organ that is already doing overtime with fewer resources. The liver enzymes responsible for breaking down drugs and herbal compounds can become overwhelmed, leading to a buildup of toxic intermediates. What might cause only mild irritation in a healthy 30-year-old can trigger significant damage in someone who is 65, 70, or 80, especially if there are other health conditions like fatty liver, obesity, or diabetes in the background. Another problem with these teas is regulation. Prescription medications are tightly controlled. We know exactly how much active ingredient is in each tablet, and doctors can calculate an appropriate dose based on age, kidney, and liver function, and other medications. Herbal detox teas are often classified as supplements, which means the rules are different. The true concentration of extracts may vary from one batch to another. You might not know how much of each compound you're actually consuming. Some products combine several liver-active herbs, like green tea extract, dandelion, senna, and others, without clear information on dose. The suggested use on the label may encourage multiple cups a day over several weeks. A person who is eager to see results might drink even more. What feels like a harmless wellness ritual can quietly become a chronic chemical assault on an aging liver that doesn't have the same resilience it once did. Let's look at why older adults are especially vulnerable to this kind of hidden assault. First, polypharmacy, taking several medications at the same time, is extremely common after 60. Many of those medications already carry warnings about liver monitoring, including some cholesterol-lowering drugs, certain diabetes medications, anti-inflammatory pain relievers, and even over-the-counter remedies like acetaminophen when used frequently. When a detox tea with concentrated herbal extracts is added on top, the liver has to juggle all of these at once. Second, chronic conditions such as fatty liver disease, high blood pressure, heart disease, and insulin resistance are more prevalent with age. These conditions can already compromise liver health or its blood supply. Third, lifestyle patterns matter. Some people may drink a glass or two of wine in the evening, then add detox tea in the morning to cleanse the damage. In reality, the liver is being hit from both sides: alcohol at night, then a high dose of active herbal compounds the next day. It's a recipe for trouble. The scary part is that liver damage from these teas doesn't always announce itself loudly in the beginning. Early signs can be vague and easy to dismiss as just getting older. You might notice unusual fatigue, a sense of heaviness or discomfort in the upper right side of your abdomen, mild nausea, or a loss of appetite. Some people develop dark urine, pale stools, or generalized itching before any visible yellowing of the eyes appears. Others simply feel off, more tired than usual, or mentally foggy. Because many of these symptoms are nonspecific, it's easy to blame them on aging, stress, or a bad night's sleep. Meanwhile, liver enzymes on a blood test may quietly climb higher, indicating inflammation. If the tea is continued long enough, more serious warning signs can appear: pronounced jaundice, yellowing of the skin or eyes, swelling in the legs or abdomen, confusion, or easy bruising. These are medical emergencies. The tragedy is that some of these episodes could have been prevented if the herbal tea had never been used or had been stopped at the first hint of trouble. Let me share a story that mirrors what I've seen many times in my practice. Imagine a 68-year-old woman named Karen. She's recently retired, wants to lose 10 pounds, and is determined to take control of her health. On social media, she sees glowing testimonials about a natural detox tea that melts belly fat and cleanses the liver in 2 weeks. The reviews look convincing, The packaging shows green leaves and a slim waist, and the price is reasonable. Karen is already taking medication for cholesterol and blood pressure, plus a daily pain reliever for her knees. She doesn't see a conflict because it's just tea. She starts drinking 2 large mugs of the detox tea every morning on an empty stomach. At first, she feels more energized and notices she's going to the bathroom more often. She loses a few pounds of water weight. After a week, however, she begins to feel unusually tired. She attributes it to poor sleep. Then she notices some nausea and a strange itching on her arms and legs, but assumes it's dry skin. Only when her daughter comments that her eyes look a bit yellow does she decide to see her doctor. In Karen's blood tests, her liver enzymes are significantly elevated, and her bilirubin, a marker associated with jaundice, is high. The doctor asks about medications and alcohol. When they finally get to supplements and herbal products, Karen mentions the detox tea almost as an afterthought. The doctor asks her to stop the tea immediately, adjusts some of her medications, and follows her closely. Over the next few weeks, her liver tests slowly improve, her energy returns, and the itching fades. Karen is fortunate. Her liver had not yet developed severe or irreversible damage, and removing the toxic trigger allowed it to heal. But her situation could easily have been worse if she had continued the tea for several more months or combined it with additional supplements also marketed as natural detox. Now picture a 72-year-old man named Robert. He has type 2 diabetes, mild fatty liver disease, and takes several daily medications. He enjoys 2 glasses of wine most evenings as part of his routine. One day, he reads an article claiming that most people are toxic and that the only way to truly reset the body is with an intense herbal detox tea. The article warns against conventional medicine and glorifies the tea as a cure-all. Feeling frustrated with his weight and his lab results, Robert decides to try it. He drinks the tea twice a day and continues his usual medications and alcohol intake. At first, he feels lighter, partly because the tea contains laxative herbs that make him lose water and stool. He interprets this as cleansing. Over several weeks, though, he becomes more fatigued and short of breath when walking. He writes it off as aging and lack of exercise. Only when routine lab work reveals markedly abnormal liver tests does his doctor unravel the combination of fatty liver, alcohol, medications, and detox tea as the perfect storm. Robert has to stop alcohol, discontinue the tea immediately, work carefully with his care team to adjust his medications, and adopt a gentler, more sustainable, liver-friendly lifestyle. His case underlines how quickly good intentions can turn into unintended harm when we underestimate the power of concentrated natural products. So what can you do, practically, to protect your liver after 60 without living in fear of every herbal drink? The first step is to become a label detective. When you look at a tea or supplement, don't stop at the words natural, detox, or slimming. Read the ingredients list carefully. Look for words like extract, standardized to, or unusually high milligram doses of certain herbs. Be especially cautious if the product combines several strong herbs and then recommends multiple daily servings. Second, pay attention to marketing language. If a tea claims rapid weight loss, dramatic cleansing, or overnight results without any lifestyle changes, that's a red flag. Third, always consider your current medications and health conditions. If you take drugs that are processed by the liver, such as cholesterol medications, certain diabetes drugs, anti-inflammatory pain relievers, or long-term antibiotics, you should be particularly cautious about adding any potent herbal product without medical guidance. Another key habit is communication. Many people forget to tell their doctors about supplements, teas, or powders because they don't see them as real treatment. But your liver doesn't distinguish between a chemical from a pill and a chemical from a leaf. it has to process them all. Bring a complete list of everything you take: prescription medications, over-the-counter drugs, herbal teas, powders, and vitamins to your medical appointments. If you're thinking of starting a detox or slimming tea, ask your doctor or pharmacist first, especially if you're over 60. A simple conversation such as, "I'm considering this product. Do you see any liver concerns or interactions with my current medications?" can prevent serious harm. Also, be honest about alcohol use. If you drink regularly, even in moderate amounts, your liver already has extra work to do, and adding a strong detox tea on top may be too much. Now let's talk about what you can do instead to truly support liver health in a gentle and sustainable way. The liver loves consistency and moderation more than sudden, extreme cleanses. One of the best gifts you can give your liver is a balanced, fiber-rich eating pattern with plenty of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, and healthy fats from sources like olive oil, nuts, and seeds. This style of eating helps reduce fat buildup in the liver, stabilizes blood sugar, and lowers inflammation. Staying well hydrated with water throughout the day supports the kidneys and liver in processing waste products at a steady pace. For many people, moderate coffee consumption can also be beneficial for liver health, as long as it doesn't interfere with sleep or other conditions. Gentle herbal teas, such as chamomile, peppermint, rooibos, or mild ginger tea, can be enjoyed in reasonable amounts, especially when they are made from simple leaves or roots and not concentrated extracts. Physical activity is another underrated liver protector. You don't need extreme workouts. Regular walking, light strength training, or any movement you enjoy helps improve insulin sensitivity, reduce fatty liver, and enhance overall circulation. When the muscles are more active, the liver doesn't have to store as much excess glucose as fat. Maintaining a healthy waist circumference and avoiding drastic weight fluctuations are also important. Rapid weight loss from extreme diets or harsh detoxes can actually worsen liver stress by mobilizing too much fat and toxins at once. It's far kinder to your liver to lose weight slowly through sustainable habits than to shock it with sudden, intense cleanses. Equally important is your mindset. Many older adults carry a sense of guilt or frustration about past habits, years of poor diet, drinking, smoking, or stress. They may feel tempted to use extreme detox products as a form of punishment or quick redemption. The body doesn't need punishment. It needs support. The liver is remarkably resilient and can recover from a surprising amount of damage when we remove harmful exposures and provide steady, healthy conditions. Instead of thinking, "I must cleanse all the toxins in 2 weeks," I invite you to think, "Starting today, I will reduce the burden I place on my liver and give it the consistency it needs to heal." That shift in attitude makes it much easier to avoid seductive but risky products that promise magic in a tea bag. If you've been using a detox or slimming tea and you're over 60, don't panic, but do take it seriously. Consider stopping the tea and discussing it with your healthcare provider, especially if you've noticed fatigue, digestive discomfort, itching, dark urine, pale stools, or yellowing of the eyes. Ask whether it might be appropriate to check your liver enzymes with a simple blood test. If your liver is healthy, wonderful, you'll have confirmation and can focus on maintaining that health with safer habits. If there are early signs of trouble, catching them now gives you the chance to change course before more serious damage develops. Either way, you gain clarity and control. I want to leave you with one clear, powerful message. After 60, your liver does not need aggressive detox teas. It needs protection, respect, and gentle, consistent care. Natural does not automatically mean harmless, and a tea marketed as a liver cleanser can, in certain forms and doses, become a liver burden instead. The encouraging truth is that it's never too late to improve your liver's environment. Even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, small, steady changes, choosing simpler teas, reading labels carefully, avoiding extreme cleanses, moving your body, and nourishing yourself with real foods can help your liver perform better and support your energy, clarity, and longevity. Thank you for spending this time with me and for caring enough about your health to question what's in your cup. If this conversation made you rethink a product you're using or gave you a new perspective on liver health after 60, I invite you to reflect on your own habits and talk about them with someone you trust, a physician, a pharmacist, or a close friend. Share this information with other older adults who might be relying on natural teas without knowing the risks. And if you'd like to keep learning how to protect your vitality, your circulation, and your overall well-being in the years ahead, I'd be honored to have you join me in future videos. Your body still has extraordinary potential for renewal. Let's treat it with the wisdom, caution, and kindness it deserves.